Hi everyone. I was little free today, so I had an initial discussion with Shivani few days back that how the heart and lungs work together to keep us alive, how the human life goes. So after that discussion, I studied a bit in detail and sharing a very short presentation on the coordination of heart and lung cycle keeping us alive. So to start with, the fluorescent boundaried part which you are seeing is our human heart, and the shaded two-sided chambers are our lungs. Pardon me for my bad drawing. So let's start. First of all, the waste carbonated blood enters through the rightmost part of our heart. Before going to the further discussion, we'll make sure that the heart is divided into four major parts. On right side, right atrium, right ventricle. On left side, left ventricle, left atrium and left ventricle. So the poor blood comes through right atrium, the valve opens and it comes to right ventricle. We'll discuss about the valves later. Now this bad blood is pushed through the ventricle on the right side through the pulmonary valve, which is here, and then this bad blood enters the lungs. Now the blood is cleared, the blood is oxygenated by our inhalation, and the fresh blood is entering the heart again through pulmonary vein on the left hand side called left atrium. Now the left atrium valve, that is mitral valve, opens and it enters the left ventricle. This clean and pure blood is pushed by the left ventricle through the aortic valve and it goes out of the different parts of the body through the central limb called aorta. Then again the cycle repeats, the oxygenated blood gets used and it becomes carbonated and again it comes and again the entry point is the right atrium and the cycle continues. Point number 2, valves and ventricles. So the valve which is between the right atrium and ventricle is known as tricuspid valve. The valve between the left atrium and left ventricle is known as mitral valve. The valve which pushes the good blood is known as aortic valve, and the valve which pushes the bad blood is known as the pulmonary valve. These all valves are unidirectional. It means they can open in only one direction. No backflow is allowed. Now, so what does it mean? Everybody knows this. So when the heart is delivering the fresh blood, the left ventricle is contracting, it shrinks, it pumps through the aortic valve opens. And at the same time, with a minor gap, the pulmonary valve also opens and it pushes the bad blood through the contraction of right ventricle. So if you see clearly, the contraction is done by the ventricles, the lower chambers only. Left ventricle contracts and pushes the good blood, right ventricle contracts and pushes the bad blood. This is known as the systolic thing of our heart, where the heart works. So at that time, the pulmonary and aortic valves are open. This is known as the systolic, and the pressure at which these valves are allowing the blood to flow is known as the systolic pressure, the upper reading of your blood pressure. Now, when the blood is pumped, this is systolic. Now from when the right atrium and right ventricle are connected by the tricuspid valve, this valve opens and just drains the bad blood to the right ventricle. At the same time, the good blood is drained to left ventricle by opening of mitral valve. So these two valve openings ensures the filling of the ventricle. The ventricle has to do no work, they are relaxed, they are just being filled. This is known as the diastole. The pressure at which this phenomena happens is known as diastolic blood pressure, the lower reading of your heart pressure. So at that time the heart relaxes. Again it pumps, again it relaxes. So in each second, one time each valve opens and closes per beat. So this is the thing. Now you will be thinking that how the heart is getting nourished. To run the pump, it is automatic pump. There are 3 arteries coming out of it and surrounded on the heart itself, known as coronary arteries. They continuously feed the good blood to the heart and keeps heart healthy. So the heart problems arises, the cardiovascular disease or the coronary artery disease arrive when the heart itself is not getting good nourishment. Now we will talk about the oxygen and carbon dioxide balance. So I'll just flip the page. I have made a very short note. Why this all phenomena are happening? Each of our body cell needs oxygen to make ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That is nothing but energy. Now, to fulfill this requirement of oxygen, we have a good bus known as RBC, red blood cell. It is the huge oxygen binding molecules of hemoglobin. How does it happen? We eat the food. The iron content of our food goes to our bone marrow cavities, and that's where the RBC is born, which is the bus for the oxygen. At the same time, the one beauty of kidney is erythropoietin hormone, which is increasing or decreasing the production rate of RBC is regulated by kidney. Now, the purpose of all this phenomena is to make the oxygen rich blood reach to the needy cell. So now our bus is ready, conductor is ready. Now the oxygen sits inside this RBC hemoglobin. So oxygen is binded with hemoglobin. It travels in our body. The cells are eating oxygen. The blood is getting wasted, rather impure, and it binds now with a detailed chemical reaction formula, that is carbon dioxide. Now the carbonated blood is again binded with hemoglobin, and this reaches back to the lungs from where I started, the bad blood, the entry point, again here, and the cycle repeats. So then why heart is needed? So what do you think? This all to oxygen reaching, making a bus of red blood cell, putting oxygen inside and pushing them throughout the body against the gravity, along the gravity. Everything is supported by the pumping action, which is done by heart. So heart starts with heart and ends with heart. Hope you like the video. More details in next video. Thank you.